Cartoon people.
Welcome, sports fans. Welcome back to another live with This or That Sports TV. I'm your host, Joe Meyer.
I'm Rush.
And sorry about that, people. But as we said, today, we're on our second ever live stream. Thanks to you guys. Last week's live was, I'd say a relative success.
It was a success.
We did pretty well, and we're back again. I think we're going to make this Sunday thing.
Yeah.
Every Sunday at around this time, we're going to come to you guys live. After everybody else finished them live, you get me, I said, and the people them know say they want really interesting stuff before them go them bed, them come to this side of sports.
And it's more of a reason with the people.
Yeah.
Isn't it? We're not trying to tell them, no, we just try to interact with them. We want them to comment so we can, respond to the comments and all that. It's just a reason we are on. And today we're going to be talking about this World Cup qualifying campaign that just ended. Isn't it? We're going to be, going through the games. We're going to dissect the whole campaign, from start to finish, and tell you guys what we think went wrong in the campaign.
Yeah.
So we want to kick it down, bro.
Well, as I said, bro, it's been a long campaign, a rough campaign, a brutal campaign.
Yeah.
But there's a lot to talk about and a lot to dissect, and that's why we're here with you guys today. So for everybody who is here with us, all of two people, big up for yourself. Thanks for tuning in early, and let's get the show on the road. So the very beginning of the campaign, right? Where it all began. A trip to the Estadio Azteca on opening night. What were your thoughts going into tonight? And people, tell us in the comment section as well. What were your thoughts going into opening night of the World Cup qualifying campaign in the Azteca? What was going through your minds? What was going through your mind?
To be honest, I wasn't excited for the game. Well, I was excited, but I didn't have much expectation because we were coming off what I would call a poor World Cup campaign. You understand? And that was the World Cup where Theodore made it known that he was trying to win. That didn't like a campaign that we were trying to win. And so coming into the World Cup qualifying campaign, I was just there for the ride, and I was just hoping that we could pull out some good results. What was your expectations going into the World Cup qualifying campaign?
Well, beyond expectations, what was I thinking about? Knowing that we'd have Mexico the very first game. It brought me back to a couple World Cup qualifying campaigns ago. When, in fact, we opened up against Mexico and then Panama.
Yeah.
And that was the last time we were in the final round, so it would be the one before the last cycle. And we opened up against Mexico in the Azteca, and we got a 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
And we were so hyped coming back to the stadium to play Panama. And we did manage to draw against Panama in the stadium. That was the first time in a long time I can remember the stadium being absolutely ram-packed.
Yeah.
Anyways, going into the game, I didn't necessarily have high expectations because I knew that game we couldn't have traveled with our full complement of players due to COVID restrictions in England and quarantine, stuff like that. So,
remember that, people?
Yeah.
In the midst of COVID, that was when we had the Mexico game. And it was very interesting because it wasn't only affecting CONCACAF. The South American teams.
Yeah.
So I remember Emi Martinez just deciding that he's going to play with Argentina. He's just going to travel. So, we couldn't have a lot of our players. But what are you saying?
Yeah, so that trip to Mexico, obviously we weren't allowed to travel with our full complement of players. However, I thought that if there was a game that we weren't going to be able to have our full team, I wouldn't mind it being that Mexico game because expectations would have had been low regardless. So I would say let's go to Mexico, fight for a result. If we don't get a result, fine. I'm not expecting a result in the Azteca anyways. So I had us going for 0 points from that game regardless. So going into the game, you want to go through the starting lineup for the people?
All right. So the starting lineup for the game against Mexico, the first game of the World Cup qualifying campaign. Jamaica started with Andre Blake in goal. Alvas Paul at left back.
Alvas Paul at right back.
Kemar Lawrence at left back. Mariappa and Damian Lowe started as our centre backs.
Yeah.
Then we started with Anthony Grant. I think this was his debut. This was his debut, innit? Yeah. So Anthony Grant started with Speedy, Devon Williams, and Romario Williams in midfield. Then we had Norman Campbell, Shamar Nicholson, and Corey Burke. I guess it would have been
Corey Burke and Shamar.
So that was the starting 11 people. Again, looked similar to the team that was playing the Gold Cup with Corberg, and Corberg featured a lot in the Gold Cup. But yeah, this was the starting lineup. What do you think about the starting lineup?
And as I mentioned previously, there was no Bobby Reed or Rafael Morrison or Daniel Johnson, so on and so forth, because of their inability to travel based on the restrictions in England.
Yeah.
So, as I said, going into this game, players like Romario Williams, wasn't necessarily high on, right? But Romario Williams and Norman Campbell wasn't very. This was because of.
Actually, said this was a loss because of someone's stupidity. Whose stupidity was it?
We're not even reached down to
that.
We're
not talking about the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, that's the nitty-gritty. But as I said, so went to with Romario Williams, and in the midfield, and Mexico severely outpossessed us, but I thought we were disciplined and we held our shape. Went down, but I wasn't disappointed with how this team played. I thought Mariappa and Damian Lowe looked really solid around there.
Yeah.
Andre Blake made some good saves, and Devon Williams and especially Anthony Grant were really, really solid. Anthony Grant was very solid. Anthony Grant was all over the place. Keep in mind, I was doubting Anthony Grant heavily.
Yeah, because of the age and the league that he plays.
Yeah.
Justified.
Before going into this campaign, I was like, he's playing in the 4th division in England, and he's a 35-year-old. I don't see what value he's going to add to the team. And even in the game, there were elements of his game that I was not impressed with, such as his first touch and his passing. I think could have been better. However, his defensive acumen in that game, his positioning, his covering, and his good decision making.
Warren Ben, today we're talking about the campaign.
Yeah.
You see me, we're on the Mexico game right now. So
the first.
We are breaking down the Mexico game, and we're going to come all the way to the Honduras game that we just played.
Yeah.
So we'll just give you guys the starting lineup, and he's talking about Anthony Grant. I think that was his debut.
Yeah.
So we were all doubting Anthony Grant. We wasn't sure what we were getting, because who is here sitting down watching League One?
Yeah.
In England. So yeah, that's what we're talking about. Actually, at the former.
The head coach,
The head coach.
Yeah.
Sorry, I get it, my boss. I get that.
So Grant was playing a solid game as it relates to the defensive part of the game, right?
Yeah.
And I think that kept us in the game. And then Shamar Nicholson, with individual brilliance, I might say, managing to score a goal from on top of the box, finishing it very well, past Guillermo Ochoa. We were excited. I know we were this close to getting a point in the Estadio Azteca.
Yeah.
We were this close to getting a point. And in the 87th minute, some substitutions were made. And I did not agree with these substitutions, because I believe that Anthony Grant was doing a good enough job slotting in behind the defense, so that he didn't necessarily need to have to bring on Javier Brown. He put Alvas Paul into the centre back, took off Anthony Grant, and I thought that brought even more pressure on us in the edge of the box area than we were getting when Anthony Grant was on the field.
Yeah,
and from that we conceded a last-minute goal.
Yeah, Tapa disrupted what we had going.
Mm-hmm.
When you're playing game, when you're playing certain football game, and there's something called the feel of the game. The players that are on the field have a feel of the game. If you're going to make a defensive substitution, take off an attacker and bring on a defender, you don't disrupt your midfield, because your midfield is heavy and supporting the defense.
Yeah.
Understand? So that's where we feel like we went wrong in that Mexico game. But you kind of sound like you want to play good still. But
no, I never necessarily said that.
Yeah.
I said we maintained our discipline on the defensive end. In that game, we had absolutely nothing
we were
to offer going forward.
We're making them some stats.
Yeah.
Mexico had 73% of the possession in that game. They took 27 shots. Jamaica took 5. They had 7 shots on target. We had 1. I guess that was the one that we scored. Shots off target 13-2. Shots blocked 7. So yeah, we were resilient in our defense, but we didn't present a threat going forward at all.
We didn't provide anything going forward. I'm not necessarily impressed by the game, and as I said, this was not our strongest team that we sent out there. So I wasn't expecting much from this game regardless. However, in the opportunity that we had something to get from it, that would have been the most important point in the history of
heartbreak, bro.
Yeah.
When Jamaica'S scored that goal, we could have feel the goal and come back. We could have feel that Mexico have a score, but we were trying to hold on to some lights of their life. You see what he scored, bro? We jumped to our knees.
I was waiting for that whistle. You know, I wanted the whistle to be blown from as soon as Jamaica'S scored the goal. You know, let's get the hell out of this stadium and go home.
Yeah. But it wasn't to be. And to be honest, we were playing with a weakened team because we couldn't have,
a very weakened team.
The English-based players or some of the Europe-based players. We couldn't have them. So, yeah, that's a Mexico game. And I can't really put it down to much, that loss, because any sensible person would have that as 0 points. You're going to the Azteca, not many teams would go to Azteca and get anything out of the game. So I feel like it was a good effort from Jamaica. We were enthused. We were optimistic about the campaign going forward at that point.
Because of how well we did with a very weakened team, I thought had some pieces been injected, and some good football be played, we could have fought for a fourth or a third spot. Because I genuinely believe that we would be fighting for the third spot. We'll probably surely secure the fourth spot. And after the Mexico game, that gave me some hope that with this kind of defense that we put out there, when we add some things into the attack, things will only get better, right?
Yeah. Actually, spoiler alert, most of this video I will be bashing Tapa. It wasn't a great campaign from Tapa, so I understand that. I'm not going to tell you, though, here we are here to communicate with you guys. Communicate back with us. We want to talk to them. Carry me Hugh. Everything went wrong in that Mexico game. If you're talking about the Mexico game or the campaign, bro, because the Mexico game, I feel like we had a decent game, We're not going to beat the team for that Mexico game.
As I said, bro, I'm not going to say a decent game. I think that's a bit overstated. Because no team should outpossess any Jamaican team 73% to whatever the other half of the number is.
Yeah.
The other percentage of the number is, or fraction of the number is. However, we held our position well, and most of the shots that they were taking weren't like threatening shots. Andre Blake did what he was required to do.
Yeah.
So I thought defensively we held our position, we held our shape, and we looked pretty solid defensively and disciplined. Yeah. However, we offered nothing going forward. So I'm not going to say a decent game.
True. And at the end of the day, we lost that game in the final minute of the game. And it was hard to take, but that was the first game of the campaign. Let's move on to the second.
All right. So
at the office, Panama.
Yeah, so World Cup qualifying home debut.
Yeah.
I was very confident. I was extremely confident going into this game, knowing that the likes of Mikel Antonio and Ethan Pinnock and Rafael Morrison would have been injected, right? What happened though? What happened though was the furthest thing from what we expected. Yeah, the furthest thing from what we expected. First of all, the way how the changes were made, poorly done.
Yeah.
There's no way you can inject 9 new people. Right. Damian Lowe didn't even change. Right? There were some decisions that was just unfathomable.
Make no sense.
The way how we defended against Mexico, we didn't have to mess with
switch it completely.
There's no way Damian Lowe doesn't play.
And a lot of the people, we're going to address the comments soon, people.
Yeah.
But a lot of the people are saying that Tapa never really picked this team. This team was given to Tapa. That was the sentiment around the camp. And other people were saying, the JFF is saying, we bring in all of these players, bro. You have to play them Tapa. That's what other people were saying. But before we move on, Kimo Unknown, they say you want to come here take on the channel. You're waiting for take money on the channel.
As I said, make we go through probably a few more in the games and then we take on.
Here we go on. Before we close it, we are going to welcome onto the channel and talk to us. But here one can come on the channel now. We have an Instagram page. This or that Sports TV on Instagram. Send us a DM. Send us a number. I will send you the link and you jump on the street. That can work, though.
Yeah.
This or that Sports TV on Instagram. And the link is in the description of this video. But ready again.
So after we run through a few more of the games,
we'll talk to them.
Then we allow people to come on and give them views. See?
All right. That can't work. Karimi Hughes said no chemistry. And he also said, what was the preparation for this game?
All right. So let's talk about that now. But first, let's go through the Panama game. As that's the starting lineup for the Panama game.
Let me get them.
All right, go on.
All right, so Andre Blake started in goal.
Yeah.
I don't think we even need to mention Andre Blake for the rest of the video because he started all the games.
Andre Blake played all games.
All right. Kemar Lawrence. Wes Harding at right back. Liam Moore and Ethan Pinnock for the centre backs.
Yeah.
In the midfield, we had Daniel Johnson, Rafael Morrison, Bobby Reed, and then the front three was Mikel Antonio, Corey Burke, and Kemar Roof. All centre forwards. all centre
number
forward.
9.
So that was our starting 11. We had some substitution. Alvasport came on later in the game. Shamanica'S came on. Junior Flemings came on. Devadulin came on. About that starting lineup, we could talk about it a little bit. I feel like that was very harsh on Shamanica'S coming off a goal against Mexico.
Yeah.
I feel
Damian
like
Lowe.
he should have started that game. Damian Lowe should have started that game. This is a World Cup qualifying campaign. It's not a friendly. This is not a camp. This is not where we just get some fixtures to play.
And for that game, I still wrapped it with Alvasport as well. Coming off of such a solid performance. So let me tell you the starting lineup that I would have wrapped with for that Mexico game. For that Panama game, right?
We would have started.
Obviously, Blakey in goal. Blakey is our best goalkeeper, not without a doubt. And I would go with, if not the same backline, I'd probably make one change. So I would probably have put in Ethan Pinnock or Mariappa. That's the only change that I would make, right? Damian Lowe had a good game.
Yeah, man.
Damian Lowe had a good game, and I would not change Damian Lowe. I would not introduce 2 brand new centre backs. I would not have done that. If I was introducing a centre back, which I probably wouldn't have adjusted the defense line any at all for this particular Panama game, especially seeing how well they played against Mexico, who is a better team than Panama, why wouldn't we just rock with the same defense?
Yeah.
But if I was making one change, I'd probably make the change introducing Ethan Pinnock for Mariappa. Right? Wes Harding and Liam Moore would have to sit on the bench for this game.
All right.
In the midfield now, Anthony Grant, I would have to give him another start. Because we didn't start this game with any hole in midfield at any time. And it showed on the field. Panama just walked through midfield because we had no defensive presence in the midfield whatsoever. And it never even started with Speedy.
Yeah.
So there wasn't even any Devon Williams. So there was no. So I would have to go with Anthony Grant, right? What I would have probably done is I would have probably went with a 4. Rush, I think he went to the 4-4-2, not a 4-3-3 in that game. If I remember right, I think he had Corberg as a left midfielder and Bobby Reed as a right midfielder. Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, anyways, I would have probably still gone with the 4, but instead of Corberg, I would have instead of Corberg and Kemar Roof, I would have gone with Shamar Nicholson and Anthony Grant, right?
Yeah.
And I would have played Anthony Grant beside of Daniel Johnson. You get me I say?
Yeah.
And put Ravel Morrison somewhere there, and then Bobby Reed somewhere there, and have Antonio and Shamar Nicholson.
All right.
That would be the starting 11 that I would go with.
I don't mind that starting 11. And what I'm going to say now, this is where the coach have to take some of the blame.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is where it started to go downhill. As I mentioned a while ago, this is a World Cup qualifying campaign, not friendly games. You don't rest. And that's how it came across to me. You know, the flying up and down, some of the players couldn't go, some of the players stayed. So it seemed like he was resting Damian Lowe. It seemed like he was, what else could be it not doesn't make sense. Resting Damian Lowe, resting Shamar Nicholson, resting Anthony Grant. In a World Cup qualifying campaign, there's no such thing as rest. So this is where Tapa have to take some beating, bro. This game is on Theodore Whitmore. Unless, matter of fact, it is on him. Because people are going to say, yo, at the JFF game the team, walk left the job, brother. You're not the coach anymore. Let Michael Ricketts come coach the team then.
You can't.
So you have to take the beating, Tapa.
Yeah, as I said, there's no way you can't mess up the backline like that.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. You cannot have Anthony Grant in the team. You cannot put a team out in a World Cup qualifier without any hole in midfield at any time.
And as they take off Anthony Grant in the Mexico game, they scored. You took him off for the 87th minute, they scored in the 89th minute. So you have to start with Anthony Grant.
You have to start with Anthony Grant over any one of these top championship players that he started.
Yeah.
Because these the three of the midfield players that he started with, Bobby Reed, Johnson, and Ravel Morrison are all 3 championship players. Yeah. But I think Anthony Grant would have had to be introduced into that spot instead of one of those 2.
Yeah,
right?
People, make sure you like the video. Make sure you like the video. And if you're not subscribed to the channel as yet, go and hit that subscribe button right under this video. Really appreciate it. Read some comments. Actually, this is bringing back nightmares, bro.
Yeah.
We all lived through it. We are trying to read. Come on, what went wrong?
No, but especially in that Panama game,
Yeah.
That Panama game, I was absolutely devastated. Because I was watching this in front of my own eyes and I was wondering, what the hell am I looking at right now? You know, it was egregious, but what I can tell, especially going back over it right now.
Let me get you some more. So, Keremy Hughes said, the man score on the bench. Oh, so you're saying Jamaica'S scored and we bench him?
How?
No make no sense to me, bro. In a World Cup qualifying campaign.
And the thing is, Jamaica'S was the only thing that was giving us anything going forward in the Mexico game. And Jamaica'S was playing against 3 Mexican defenders. Like the goal him score a big goal.
Yeah.
Him score a big goal. Like he has to play. Jamaica'S has to play. Anthony Grant has to play. We cannot change what the backline said. It makes no sense. This is the World Cup qualifying football.
So where I said this game is on who? Tapper, the players. Because the players never help themselves either. The man just all of a sudden can't control ball.
Yeah, the players out there, they were abysmal. They were all over the place. It was poor. However, this has to be on team selection. Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm giving this one to Tapper. This game was Tapper with more sport.
So I'm chalking this down to team selection. There's obviously no way there will be any chemistry on the field. They can't, like the backline had to stay the same.
Yeah.
And if there was somebody going to be introduced, it would have only been Ethan Pinnock. Right?
Yeah.
So fine, if you have a rest Damon Lowe, which I think was a bad idea, it would have to be Maps and Pinnock. Or Pinnock and Lowe.
Yeah.
It couldn't be anybody else. Wes Harding, there's no way Wes Harding should have started over Alvaspol in that game. Because Alvaspol did not have a stinker in the Mexico game. You know, I thought they were compact. Even Alvaspol went in the centre back and he still didn't look very bad in the Mexico game either. So I have to chalk the Panama game down to poor team selection, lack of chemistry.
Yeah.
Bad decision making by the coach.
I agree. Start with the next game now?
Yeah, and with the Costa Rican game now, this brings us back to the same point about the continuity and the way how we should have played in the Panama game, right?
Yeah.
Going back to Costa Rica, many of the players weren't able to make the trip to Costa Rica. See?
Okay, yeah.
So because the players weren't able to make the trip to Costa Rica, we have to go back to a similar type situation that we put out there in
against Mexico.
Yeah. All right. So the Costa Rica game now, the starting lineup was the same back four as the one in Mexico, and Andre Blake, as you said. So Lowe and Maps in the center defense, Lawrence and Powell as the 2 fullbacks. In the midfield now, we had Grant and Speedy and McGee. Right?
Yeah.
That was our midfield 3. And then up top we had Corbett, Shamar Nicholson, and Junior Fleming. That was our starting 11. And as I'm saying, we saw where we looked more compact, we looked more disciplined. We did not have very much going forward though.
Yeah.
But the back line looked more solid, looked more barring the one mess up that we made. We conceded very early in that game.
Yeah.
And it was a mix up at the back, right? Poor defending.
We conceded in the 3rd minute.
Yeah. Poor defending. However, after that, we looked disciplined, we looked solid, and I think we did play a very good game against Costa Rica. Still with a lack of talent because we didn't get to bring some of our better options.
Yeah.
So I think in this first window, oh, by the way, Shamar Nicholson again.
I was waiting. Shamar Nicholson scored again. So in the 2 games that he played, the first 2 games he played of the World Cup qualifying campaign, Shamar Nicholson scored. In fact, the first game he played, and they benched him.
He did play in the Panama game, but the first
he came on.
Yeah.
But the first 2 games that he started, he scored. I don't understand that. And these are the things that gives us headache when we're thinking about Whitmore. And then you ask yourself, if Jamaica had a better coach, some of these are the decisions that cost us games, would they have happened?
Yeah, but as I said, even going back to the Panama game, I thought if we didn't have a better presence in the midfield, like had Grant been in the midfield in that game, I would never mess with our back line. Probably not win the game, probably a nil or draw.
Yeah.
I don't see Panama just walking over us like
Not giving us
you know, so we came back to Costa Rica, not a great game by any sense. You know, Costa Rica still outpossessed us.
Outshot us.
However, we made a better account of ourselves than we did against Panama, which is embarrassing because this Costa Rican team is going to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah.
The Panamanian team is out of World Cup qualification, right? And we managed to play with Costa Rica on both occasions. So, and this Costa Rica team is going to play off with New Zealand. They're going to beat New Zealand and they're going to be in the World Cup. Tariq McGee had a good game in that game.
A decent game.
And Tariq McGee eventually was phased out of the program. So that goes to team selection.
Yeah.
But the first window, we basically went through all the games in the first window, right? I would say we got 1 point from the first window. We lost 3-0 at home, and we conceded a heartbreaker against Mexico in the first game. My keys to the first window: Panama game, lack of midfield presence, lack of chemistry, change up the back line. No chemistry going forward.
Yeah.
That cost us the game in Panama. Mexico game, we were short in our squad depth. We didn't have a strong team going out there. However, I thought our back line was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that back line was pretty similar to the back line that we played most of the campaign.
Yeah.
Think about it. Pinnock wasn't always here, and Damon Luan, Mariapa, Alva Spore, and Kemar Lawrence. Later on, Javier Brown, Kemar Lawrence. And they're great. But that back line that we played in Mexico and Costa Rica, that was our core back line. And I thought, because those guys have been playing together for a long time, Alva Spore, Damon Lowe, Adrian Mariapa, and Kemar Lawrence, that's been our back four for a long time.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I had no problem with our back line. Right? So I think we can chalk up the first window to the fact that we didn't get continuity because the players weren't able to travel to Mexico City and to Costa Rica. However, in Panama, we should have made a better account of ourselves. Yeah. Poor performance, poor coaching, lack of chemistry. So that's the first window.
That's exactly what I chalk it down to. So we were just up and down, moments here, moments there. Then we disrupt it. Then we play next game, moments here, moments there. So I was still kind of optimistic, but I knew that something had to change fast. So we had a break from international football.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had another window.
All right. So the second window now, Rush, I would have had a change of scenery because the first window, I was watching this when I was overseas.
Yeah.
Right? This window now, I was in Jamaica for all three of these games. This is where the political aspect of the campaign came into being, right?
Want to read some comments?
Yeah.
Loud music entertainment. Let's say Jamaica come fourth and then made it past New Zealand in the playoff. They would be in the same group as Spain and Germany in the World Cup. That is true, and that will be something that we're going to talk about in the future. Loud music also said, no, if they made it to the World Cup, would they have a plan to make it past the group stage now? I think they would just be happy to make it to the World Cup.
I think we'd have a plan, but it wouldn't
work. It wouldn't work at all. No, we wouldn't come out of that group, bro. For sure.
Costa Rica is not going to come out of that group.
Yeah.
Costa Rica is not going to come out of that group.
We wouldn't come out of that group. All right, actually, RIP to Maggie. Tapa saw that he was playing good, and the wise man said we must not play good. We need more long ball passes. We never heard from the youngster again. And this is true.
To be honest, in that game, Tariq McGee was one of the only persons trying to put the ball on the ground and to play some football in that game.
Against Tapa's system?
Yeah. I'm coming for the frame. Sorry, man.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, next window.
All right. So the next window now. So not only did we have footballing issues, but we had political issues. So I was very excited. In fact, I came back to Jamaica, rearing and ready to go to watch Canada in the National Stadium because now teams were finally getting fans. Every team in CONCACAF had fans by this point. Mm-hmm. So I was certain that I would get to go and watch Canada at the National, to go and watch Jamaica play against Canada.
Was that part of the travel plans?
With the likes of Alfonso Davies and Jonathan David and Kyle Larin and Hoylett in the National Stadium. Only to find out just a few days earlier that there will be no fans in the stadium, even though Mexico were allowing fans. USA have long been allowing fans. Okay. Canada finally started to allow fans. Costa Rica and Honduras started to allow fans. So we were heartbroken. How could they not have allowed fans in the National Stadium in such a big window? Coming off of a window where we are almost at a point from Mexico, we managed to get a point from Costa Rica, which is a hard point to get, or a historically hard point to get. And we just wiped the Panama game out of mind. That don't count. Right? Now it's time for us to come home and to do something. The heartbreaking news, no fans. Right?
And you know what really bothers me about us not being able to have fans earlier? If we could have had fans in November, why couldn't have fans in October and September? So that means that the decision could have been made earlier, said it really just comes down to they were just incompetent. Because why you take so long to make a decision so important? You know, you had funds and then again later in the campaign no funds and then funds come back and then limited funds. What are we
And
doing?
then, as we mentioned in videos before, there were fans in other sporting events.
There we go.
Notably Caymanas Park, where fans never stopped any at all.
So
Right?
we know that decision was
Yeah.
strictly political. I don't know the root cause of it. Like I don't know why it was made, but that's coming straight from upstairs.
All right. So this window now, we would face the likes of USA, then their North American neighbors, but at home, Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And we'd close off that window against Honduras at Honduras,
Yeah.
a place we've never managed to go and get a result from before.
Yeah.
Going into this window, I was fairly optimistic. I wasn't necessarily expecting to go to USA and get a point or 3 points. Because keep in mind, people, I was not expecting Jamaica to finish first in CONCACAF qualifying. You know, I was expecting us to be fighting for that third spot,
Fourth, yeah.
but surely get that fourth spot. That was what I was expecting.
Same,
Right?
same.
So me going to USA, you know, playing in a heavily American crowd, a full stadium, wasn't necessarily mad at not getting a result. What I was upset about was how we played, bro.
Yeah. All right, so that USA game, let's run through the starting lineup again.
Yeah.
So Andre Blake in goal, Kemar Lawrence at left back, Alvas Paul at right back, Mariapa and Damien Lowe were the centre backs. You know, I didn't realize that Mariapa played that much in this campaign.
Because Ethan Pinnock did not come
Yeah,
this window. Why? Only God knows.
only God knows. In the midfield, we had Devon
And
Williams.
Mikel Antonio didn't come because apparently the JFS
Something about muscles.
forbade him from bringing his masseuse or his therapist or whatever.
Yeah.
So you see the political aspect of this team selection, Pinnock not coming for whatever reason, Antonio not coming for whatever reason, that would have already put a dent in our window, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, as I said, this back four, continue.
Midfield, Tariq McGee, Devon Williams, and Jevon Watson. The front four was Shamar Nicholson, Bobby Reed, and Jamal Lowe. That was our front three. Immediate problems with this squad, bro. Jevon Watson just came out of nowhere.
Oh yeah, my bad. I think Ethan Pinnock was injured for that window.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ethan Pinnock was injured. That's why he didn't make the trip.
Yeah, he didn't say why. He just said that he wasn't here.
Yeah.
Immediately, problem, Jevon Watson came out of nowhere. And we had players, but Jevon Watson didn't have a club. He was training by himself, and he just walked into the Jamaica national team.
And Anthony,
I've never heard of it.
And Anthony Grant was not given a call up.
Never heard of something like that, bro.
Coming off of 2 good games. Anthony Grant played 2 good games and was not given a call up. Now explain to me.
People, we're trying to make sense of this, you know. Help us understand how Jevon Watson walked into the squad, not playing any domestic football anywhere. He didn't have a club. He was unattached.
He was trained in Jamaica.
He was training by himself. How did Jevon Watson walk into the team? Anthony Grant didn't get a call. There were no better JPL players. There were no better USL players. There were no better MLS players. There were no better League 1, League 2, anything
Than Jevon
Jevon Watson.
Insane.
Somebody explain that to me.
Insane.
I don't understand it.
So as I said, this window was marred with a lot of political issues, bro.
This was very
From
frightening.
the get-go,
Mhm.
as it relates to the government of Jamaica fighting against us, we fighting against ourselves, the players fighting against each other.
Yeah.
That was some insight that we would have heard, and this is the window where it all began, bro.
Crumbled, man.
Right?
Crumbled.
And keep in mind, to this point, Leon Bailey still wasn't introduced into the program because I think he was battling with injury.
Yeah, the toe injury, I think,
Yeah.
and the hamstring as he came back.
So, anyways, that was the back four.
All right.
We had Jevon Watson instead of Speedy Williams. That's a no.
Instead of Anthony Grant.
Instead of Anthony Grant, sorry. No.
Yeah.
No. And
And that actually said, and then the wise man said, "Oh yes, Aka is perfect for my plan to fail Jamaica." Man, sometimes you have to wonder.
that sound exactly like it. I don't know what kind of call Jevon Watson get up on. How we end up on the flight there to America, God alone knows.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we saw Tariq McGee get a start. Oh yeah, and also more political issues. Ravel Morris and Theodore more fell out,
Yeah.
and that's such Ravel Morris wasn't called up in this window.
Remember, and around that time he made the comment about give them a inch and them take a mile or something like that. It's hard to control and stuff like that. So again, this window, TNT, and this is where a lot of the problems started.
So people, do you see the theme of the political mishaps in this window? Do you see why that is my theme for the second window? So the theme for the first window, lack of continuity, lack of chemistry, right? Bad coaching decision in the second game. This window, politics.
Yeah.
Politics all over.
Warren Bent asked, what about Lamar Walker, bro? Lamar Walker wasn't even introduced to the campaign as yet. We're walking it all the way back. And you see how crazy? Javon Watson never played in the first window at all. Then they just introduce him. Boom. Lamar Walker don't play yet, you know. I remember how much game Lamar Walker played in the second half of the campaign or the middle of the campaign.
We're gonna get there. As I said, people, there's a lot.
Loud music, entertainment. The entire campaign was a big failure. JFF failed again. That is true.
For sure. So I would have loved to have seen, instead of Maggie, although Maggie had a fairly good window, but I'd have loved to see Ravel and instead of Watson, Anthony Grant in that game, right?
Yeah.
We saw Jamal Lowe play. And Jamal Lowe, I was calling for Jamal Lowe all campaign. Jamal Lowe didn't necessarily give us, from the little bit of time he got in this campaign, he didn't really give us what I expected.
Yeah.
We didn't see Andre Gray in this game, but he got the call up, which is good. I think he deserved the call up. We saw Javon East in this game. For what reason, I don't know.
I couldn't
he came on and, Junior Fleming came on for Jamal Lowe. As I said, guys, I don't remember this game vividly.
We can give them some stats, try to put in perspective. America had 62% possession. They outshot us 17-5. We had one shot on target. They had 7. So we got dominated in this game again.
People, as I said, people.
And that's just the primary stats. Football is more than that, but can get an idea.
As I said, people, I was watching this game and I'm not liking what I was seeing, and I was preoccupied. You get me? I said, so I just shut off the TV and I enjoyed my time. Because I just come back from foreign. I get me? I say, I meet people, I see people, I go places. That was not it.
Yeah.
I am guilty of abandoning
the ship
in this game. This is the only game for the whole campaign where I can say I did not complete the game, and as such, I cannot critically analyze.
And I was on the road. I was at an amusement park watching this game on my phone. Couldn't miss it. I was so upset. I didn't understand what was going on. But we moved. Canada in the national stage.
So as I said, I wasn't expecting to get any result from America anyways. We come back. Oh my bad. We come back now. Canada in the national stadium. Keep in mind, as I said, the political mishap. Us not having fans in the stadium. Madness. Because we just played in Texas, I think it was in Houston.
Yeah.
In a full house.
Yeah.
An absolutely full house. Right? We come to Canada, no fans. You want to go through the starting lineup for this game?
So the starting lineup for the Canada game. Obviously, we started with Andre Blake in goal. We went Kemar Lawrence at left back, Albert Paul at right back, Mariappa and Fisher. I think Albert was centre back, and O'Neill Fisher was the right back.
Yeah.
The midfield was Anthony Grant and Javon Watson. Again,
the reason why Damon Lowe didn't start in this game was because he was suspended.
Yeah.
He got a yellow card accumulation suspension.
Right.
That's why he didn't start in this game.
Rest of the Bobby Reed, I think, made up that midfield 3. And then we had Kemar Roof, Junior Fleming, Jamaica'S. And if it was a 4-4-2, then obviously Bobby Reed would be an one with Junior Fleming and the other. But that was the starting line that we went with.
Yeah, as I said, this game, Anthony Grant finally made his way back into the team. Not even changing in the last game for Javon Watson in his place.
Yeah.
And then in this game now, in this game we saw him use both Grant and Watson on the field at the same time.
Bro.
Both defensive midfielders who aren't necessarily technically gifted, who aren't great passers, who aren't necessarily the most creative of players, to sit in front of the defense, right? Make it make sense.
Madness. So away to America, you never go defensive. But we're home where we should pick up points coming off a loss from America. So we should be looking to, obviously you need to have your tactic, but we should be looking to get some out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
You saw the two defensive midfielders. Where the harder game would have been America. In America. And you never care Anthony Grant. Like, we should have seen, I don't know, we didn't know still. But we saw it from early. That one never know what to do, bro. It was just chopping and changing and trying this, trying that, long ball. Again, in this game, we were outshot.
Literally.
Outshot.
As in, and outpossessed.
And outpossessed again.
Canada really played the football around us. Andre Blake had a good game, though.
Mm-hmm.
Andre Blake had a good game. And in this game is where we first started to see it loud and clear how Tapa wanted us to play football. Because in this game, all we did was boot the ball along. And that's where we started to see the Tapa system start to rear its ugly head. At that point, the Canada game, everything, them are keep quick. Everything there. So, this is the point where we realize, all right, this is the road that he's going down. Kemar Roof, unimpressive in this Canada game. He was highly touted. And to this point, I still haven't seen anything.
I remember this game. This wasn't a great game from Kemar Roof. And I remember I wasn't excited going forward for Kemar Roof. Mm-hmm. He came into the side with a lot of expectations. A lot of people a lot of fans in Jamaica wanted to see Kemar Roof. I saw him. I feel like he never looked like a player from Europe. He looked like somebody who can control him. Like the ball is stuck in his foot all the time. Try to push and run with the ball now move. Man just come take the ball off his foot. I remember it, and I wasn't excited. Right. Next one?
Next game, we traveled to Honduras, and we managed to get a historical result. In this game versus Honduras, starting lineup, Andre Blake again, man of the match performance from Andre Blake, he was one of the outstanding players in this game. And then we started Damian Lowe and Javon. We started Damian Lowe, Javon Watson.
Yeah.
Mariappa, Lawrence. Then we started Grant and Williams, O'Neal Fisher, Junior Fleming, Shamar Nicholson, and Kemar Roof. Up top, Kemar Roof was kind of playing like a number 10 type of situation, right?
This is where we saw like the back three kind of vibe where Javon Watson was slotting into the defense a lot. You remember that? This was the game?
No, this game, Javon was playing centre back.
Right. But
he was playing centre back.
So Mariappa Lowe. So we had a back three?
Yeah, I think it was a back three in this game. Yeah. So I think this game was when we went with a back three. And, we had O'Neal Fisher playing very high up the field. So, kind of like a wing back situation. Kemar Lawrence getting forward. And this game, it wasn't a great game. Like, we sat behind the ball, we played a lot of long balls, we didn't have position on the ball. In fact, Honduras outpossessed us, which is embarrassing. However, Honduras were toothless and they didn't have the ability to hurt us.
Yeah.
And we got, a fortunate bounce for Kemar Roof to get his first goal for Jamaica. We'll take them as they come.
Yeah.
And O'Neal Fisher, even though he was playing in the capacity of a left midfielder, a left winger, got a really good goal. So that's, that's something. That's a good goal.
For this game again. So, O'Neal Fisher started as a right wing back.
Mm-hmm.
Ended the game at left midfield.
Because we had Javier Brown come on for Shamar Nicholson.
Right. But we had other attackers on the bench.
Yeah.
What was it? It worked this time, because he got a goal. But I'm trying to understand the thought process of moving him from right wing back to left midfield.
Well,
I didn't understand it, but it worked.
Yeah, well, I guess the coach understands saying maybe the cutting and the finishing him right foot.
It worked this time.
Yeah, so
but this was the only time it worked. In fact, never have another good game present campaign.
I don't remember if Rush remember me saying we won 2-0, but I was unimpressed about how we played.
Mm-hmm.
The way we played against Honduras left so much to be desired, bro. You get me?
But Honduras is the worst team in the final stages of World Cup qualifying in CONCACAF.
Mm-hmm.
On our bad day, we should still be able to beat Honduras, and that's exactly what happened. We didn't play great against Honduras both times, and we managed to beat it.
All right, so the second window, 4 points. No, 5 points.
Yeah.
Out of the first, 6 games. We played USA,
Mhm.
we played Canada, we played USA and Mexico away, and we played Canada at home, managing to get a point from Canada.
Mhm.
Getting a point from Costa Rica and beating Honduras.
Yeah.
Even though we played some of the worst football we could have possibly played, after the first two windows, we were set up in such a good position to go forward and qualify for the World Cup.
Yep. And everybody was enthused. You could check the youth, they can go back and check it. We were saying, all right, we got some of the harder games out the way. Tapper, we still have time. Get it together. We can still get some results. We have a lot of home games coming up. We can get some results out of these. And even the away games were supposed to be easy games.
I repeat, lost to Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
Fine.
America.
Mexico. We lose to America.
Costa Rica.
Fine. We get a draw in Costa Rica. I repeat, we got a point in Costa Rica and we got a point from Canada.
Yeah.
We got 3 points in Honduras. That's as good.
That not sound bad.
Yeah, that's as good a start as you would hope.
I think at that point, where were we?
Based on the fixtures, I'm not sure where we're in the standings, but based on the fixtures, that's a good start.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
And obviously, barring the Panama game, which we would have wanted more from.
Yeah.
And I think we really believe that we could have probably won that Panama game. But besides that, that's as good a start as we could have expected.
Yeah. Where we go from there now? El Salvador.
The third window.
This is the November window. So we played El Salvador away, right? So I'm going to go through the starting lineup and then we'll break it down.
Yeah.
So Jamaica started Andre Baking goal, of course. Kemar Lawrence, left back. O'Neal Fisher, right back. Damian Lowe, Adrian Mariappa. Midfield now. Anthony Grant, Javon Watson. Kemar Roof, I guess it was played at number 10 Roof.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had Bobby Reed to one side, Liam Bailey to one side, and then Shaman Nicholson was striking this game. We drew this game 1-1. Talk about it.
All right, so this El Salvador game.
By the way, we were leading.
Yeah, I was very disappointed this El Salvador game. This is the one of the many games that I was very frustrated with Theodore Moore's coaching. Because the starting lineup, obviously,
this was the game where he put on Liam Moore and they will lose.
And they were obviously, no, but I'm saying, even so, obviously, I would have probably rather, beside Anthony Grant, I would probably rather Rafael Morrison or Daniel Johnson. But Daniel Johnson wasn't called up in this window for some reason.
Yeah.
But Rafael Morrison's long awaited return to the team happened in this window, right?
Mm-hmm.
So this was the window where I was like, okay, let's see what happens. So I would have started, as I said, the back line, fine. You know, Alva Spoil. I think Alva Spoil was struggling with an injury.
Mm-hmm.
That's why he started Fisher in this game. Anyways, the similar back line as normal. I wish he hadn't started Javon Watson. I thought that really crippled us. If you're going to go with Grant, it has to be somebody else. I'd have loved if he had put Grant and Rafael Morrison.
Yeah.
Right? Grant Rafael Morrison. In this game, he was playing balls from Andre Blake and Damian Lowe to Bobby Reed and Leon Bailey in the air consistently.
In the air.
And it made Leon Bailey and Bobby Reed look so bad. They looked like they didn't have much of an impact in this game. And every single time El Salvador got the ball, they would put it down and they would play football around us as they wanted to. However, once again, El Salvador didn't have the teeth to really affect us in that manner, right?
Mm-hmm.
They didn't really have what it took to go ahead and annihilate us, even though we weren't playing to our strength. Because had he been playing to our strength, it should have been easy work.
It should have been.
We could have managed to get another set of 3 points in Central
America. We should have won the game, bro. Even though we didn't play a great game.
Of our bad game, and that's where I'm going to right now. He introduced Mikel Antoni, and you see how him having English players this game, and then gradually introduced them throughout the flow of the game. Had he played this way,
the Panama.
Had he not played this way, if he did use this kind of team selection in the Panama game, we'd have made a better showing.
For sure.
Because you see how him bring on...
Too many debuts for that game.
he brought on Mikel Antonio, and Mikel Antonio really, really did show his class in this game.
Yeah.
You know, a beautiful pass from Kemar Lyons to Mikel Antonio, and Mikel Antonio drove it down, and he did a step over, and he got it back, and he just chipped it over the goalkeeper, and we were like, class. Absolute class.
We win the game now.
He was the
There's
most-
no way we're going to lose that game.
At that point, Jamaica bolstered the ability to have the most unformed forward in the world.
That's right.
We had that in our
He
artillery.
brought it over to international
Yeah.
football.
And he done it. And we're playing against an El Salvador team, and as I said, people, this El Salvador team is toothless. This El Salvador team doesn't come near to us in the artillery that we possess.
Yeah.
Talk to him about the changes that he then went on to make.
So, introduced Mikel Antonio, he scored.
Mhm.
So we scored in the 82nd minute.
Yeah.
In the 88th minute, he brought on Liam Moore for Leon Bailey. Backline was disrupted. And in the 90th minute, so Liam Moore come on from the field, and literally as he came onto the field,
And as
They
I
scored.
and as I said, bro, it's not like El Salvador team did a threaten with that much.
Mhm.
It was alright, let's get timid. I think we could have continued to attempt to open up the game and continue to play football. Have Leon Bailey up top with his speed to counter. But Taylor Ramos wasn't playing to our strength anyway. So at the end of the day, it really, really did not matter.
yeah.
But yeah, so the way how that game ended, devastating, heartbreaking. Felt like a loss to me.
And up until this point, Anthony Grant, no, we were still in. No, we were never in losing positions with Anthony Grant on the field.
Yeah.
Up until this point. Took him off in this game again, goal score. Again.
So I can remember it. And as I said, our marking was so bad. And Liam Moore was complicit in the goal.
Mhm.
Liam Moore was not tracking. You know, none of our midfielders were covering on top of the box. And the way how Jamaica dealt with squares and a hole this whole campaign was absolutely pathetic.
We conceded from a square in this game for sure.
So that's the El Salvador game, the beginning of the end for me. Because 3 points in that El Salvador game would have been so crucial.
We needed that.
Would have been so crucial, and we could have more than gotten it, even though we weren't playing any kind of football to deserve it.
Mhm.
Right? Coming out of that game disappointed, but still with a very, very good chance of getting the fourth or the third spot. You know?
Still very possible.
Travel back to the National Stadium, and finally, bro,
Yeah.
fans were allowed in the National
And we were there.
And this or that Sports TV was there. Guys, that's the first time we brought to you guys fan cams. You know, that's the first time we brought you a match day vlog. You know, we're at the stadium from earlier than everybody else because we were the super fans. We actually paid for a ticket that time.
Mhm.
And that was the last time we ever paid for a ticket to go to a football game.
Yep.
You know, we actually bought our tickets and we went there, and we weren't necessarily impressed with what we saw, but it wasn't terrible. But still, the long balls.
We should have won that game, bro. We should have won that game.
Why you say
When you
we
think
should have won
about
the game?
what happened, Damian Lowe being
With the
goal being chopped off as a foul, and the play when it was clearly not a foul. Bobby Reed missing from the goal line, and we should have won that game. We really should have won that game. Yes, we were outpossessed. We were outshot, but on target, 2 for 2. That we should have won that game.
Hey, and you know what? That game,
That was referee.
as I said, bro. Oh boy.
That was the referee's fault for me.
No, but we weren't playing any kind of football.
I know, but we had the chances and we did score a legal goal.
Mm.
Had VAR been in that game, Jamaica would have won that game 2-1. Remember the Damian Lowe goal, man? I was like, what happened?
I don't almost forget the name and logo.
So we should have won
But
that
I'm
game.
saying, fine, you can say that we should have won that game, but I am critically analyzing how Jamaica played, right, and what we deserve. And USA USA, they were toothless. I think like they didn't provide much of a threat to us.
Mhm.
However, all we were doing is trying to play the
Long
ball
ball
long to Bobby Reed and Leon Bailey, and that's why Leon Bailey looked so docile
It didn't look special at all.
in the games on the Theodore Whitmore because we're just playing long balls. But Mikel Antonio, with his back to Brooks, let me look and make sure. It was Richards. It was Richards and Zimmerman, not Brooks this time. It was Richards and Zimmerman. But you know, there were two big USA centre back.
Yeah.
Mikel Antonio made those guys look like babies. You know, every single ball that came over,
One lot of his duels.
he made Zimmerman look small, you know, and that's the only thing that provided us with a bit of attacking intensity. Yeah, had it not been for Mikel Antonio, I don't think we could have even. And he scored probably the goal of the whole World Cup qualifying campaign, you know.
Again, the most informed striker in the world at the time.
Mm-hmm.
He came to Jamaica and he brought it to our international football. It's just so sad that we couldn't have taken advantage of that opportunity. Think about it. We needed a goal in the El Salvador game, or the Honduras game. The El Salvador game came on, picked up the ball, scored. We were down 1 goal in the America game. There, pick up the ball, score. Mikel Antonio was literally dragging us. He was pulling us.
Yeah. He was the only bright
Couldn't
spark.
take advantage of it,
He
bro.
was the only bright spark in that window.
We couldn't take advantage of his form.
And that brought us to the first half of the campaign. You want to bring on somebody now and let them give them views?
All right, we can talk to somebody. Man, go and talk to them. We can go and talk about some other games.
So, yes, so as I said, people, so that was the first half of the campaign. And also that was football for 2021. You know?
Yeah.
So 2021, I think, oh boy, we could have done a lot better. As you guys can see, this is really stressing me out to go back down memory lane because there are a lot of missed opportunities and a lot of chances in spite of our poor manager or poor management of the games by Theodore Whitmore. We still had so many chances to do what we needed to do and we couldn't manage to do it.
And results around us were helping us. Like nobody was running away.
Everything in this campaign was going to our favor. The way how they set the schedule, you know, the way how other teams were playing, everything was going to our favor. And yet we still failed to capitalize on the opportunities that we got. First half of the campaign, how much points did we end up with? 7 points from 8 games.
All right.
Not terrible, but let's think about it. El Salvador game, get 3 points right there. Just like that, it goes from 7 to 9 points.
Yeah.
The USA game, you know, one bad referee's decision away from getting 2 more points added to our tally, right? So that's now 9 points to 11 points from 7 games. Can you imagine that?
Yeah.
Just from this window alone, we could have gotten at 6 points easily, and by now have 11 points from 8 games and be well in the driver's seat on our way to qualify for the World Cup.
Yeah. During this window, though, that last one that we were talking about, it was the anniversary of
on this exact same game
that we qualified.
November 27th.
That was the day we needed that win, and I feel like even if we got that win, it would have kickstart something again with the fans where it would have take the decision out of the government hands. I feel like if we were performing better, they would have to let in fans. I just feel like we didn't have a compelling case. But on that note, people, if you want to give your review, if you want to see yourself on the channel, go to this or that Sports TV's Instagram page. Send us a DM.
Follow us first.
Follow first. Send them a follow us on the DM.
Oh.
It'll pop up in a request. I'm not going on a request. No.
Yeah.
So send us a DM. I'll send the link. And I'll come talk to them on the channel right now. But for now, until somebody pop up, click the link and forward, we're there, Satan.
But how much likes do you have?
So 30 people there. They're halfway now. Like up the video, people. Make sure
25 likes.
No, man, we need some more like the video from please, people. It's done right, so we're now doing the next half of the campaign. Peace. Hang up on yourself.
And people, how often or how much people only can get such a comprehensive breakdown of the whole entire campaign? Rush, this is unprecedented.
We gotta do something different, bro. 33 people there, 27 live. I'm done.
We can't finish this history class. People like up the stream.
Yeah, so if you want to come on the channel, if you want to talk to us, go on Instagram. This or that Sports TV. Send us a DM. Follow us, send us a DM. And we'll talk to you right now on the channel. Make us go and talk about some other games, bro.
No, bro. 28 likes.
28. When God go, you know. Like the video. Let's not talk about nothing more. Yeah, straight. Straight me, I tell you.
People, come on, people. Let's get to the 30 likes really quick. At least that. Oh God, man. Am I asking for too much, Josh?
I don't think so. Honestly, I don't think so.
29. Come on, people. There are 30 people watching.
Almost there. Almost there.
There are 30 people watching live right now. Oh God, man.
Again, if you want to feature on the channel, you want to tell us about the campaign and what went wrong, DM us on Instagram. Send us the link, and click the link. I don't accept. In fact, probably can pin the link as still.
You know, so 3 people unlike.
I don't move so that. You want me pin the link in the make it clickable for them. Instead I got Instagram. I don't want them go over the Instagram still, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're there same way still. So Nick, go on to the next game now.
Alright, so we'll move on to the other win now. Don't want somebody come give them views for the first.
Yeah, but until them come.
Alright. So we're on to the next.
Coach a late class. Yeah. So do it, coach.
Yeah, man, because coach, we there I break down the whole window from start to end. Right now we're halfway. 7 games, 8 points, right?
Yeah.
And we just there go through all of the pain where we feel, all the chances we miss, all the opportunities we waste or squander, or could have been in a much better position. You get me I say? Somebody send a request, bro.
You answer that already?
Oh, that from before.
Yeah. The link is in the chat, people. The link is in the live chat. If you want to come on the channel, click the link. Or you can go to Instagram, follow the channel, send us a DM. That's how it is.
Alright, 30 people watching before we continue. Once I feel like a body mob, so I'm just take back in life, you know.
I say go, boss. I say go. What? Remember, you know, the way you guys can show us that you're supporting the channel is through like, comments, subscribe. And we're not asking for the money. We're not asking. That's how we do with it.
Yeah.
We just want the support. Support the channel.
Alright, up to 30 now.
Alright, ready again.
Alright, bro. Alright, so the next game, as I said, that was it for 2021. You know, me and Rush were left over the Christmas holiday. And guys, if you want something different on our channel during the Christmas holiday, when not much did I go on, we're there and make some videos, some Christmas challenges. You get me? I say,
Yeah.
Find out some of the things I'm gonna like, find out some things about we as persons. So go back and watch our Christmas channels. Alright, the boss there say more talk. What hear what I say about the first half of the stream, bro?
Yo, General.
All gone.
Yeah, night. First time on Mobile is taking the channel. You see me? And I show my support and liking the platform whenever you put out your you guys videos. Yeah, so I see the topic is you guys are reviewing the whole World Cup campaign. And you're at what now? The October window? Or you're going to the November?
Yeah, we reach halfway.
So the November window was what? The USA and El Salvador, yeah, where we dropped points. We were stolen 3 points at the National Stadium against the US. I was at that game, me and Katarak and Karumi.
Yeah, man.
And luckily, I think based on every other thing that happened in the September to the October window, that November window could proven to be where the whole game would change for our World Cup campaign if we had won against El Salvador, and that goal would have stood against the US. We maybe would have seen something different, but things changed because maybe we wouldn't, but I'm just saying because Tapa was at the helm. You understand? Maybe we would see the same old. But it would be down to the players and not down to the coach's decision if things would have changed if we got 6 points from that window.
Yeah.
What do you think about? That was one. That was like one of the. That was that window. I think that window
That's
and
where it changed.
the yeah. I think that things could have changed for us in that window and also in the window where we played Mexico, Panama, and Costa Rica. That window, those two windows was the more important windows for us, different from how we actually started. How we started to put in things together, but it was the final touch to finish and score, give us the goals so we could get the 3 points in some of the games. That's what cost us.
And me and Rush after the
You
USA game,
understand?
after the
So
USA game, we I think that's the point where we're like,
This is it.
yeah.
We did that video
Yeah,
inside the
after the
stadium.
USA game, like in that window, we were in prime
mhm.
position to push our campaign forward, but I don't think we did enough. And after that window, I just didn't think that we would have had enough after that window, based
Yeah,
on that window.
he's saying that window along with the Mexico window, the first window, that's where it all fell
Yeah.
apart. But I'm saying this one is the one. The November window is the one where it fell apart. That El Salvador game where we were leading, and then Tapa Brata and Liam Moore, and then a cross came into the box a minute after we lost that game. That was a very important loss. Then when we get robbed in the
Yeah, I
national,
mean that
that's
goal came
again.
out of nowhere.
Yeah, I feel like that's
That
the
goal
one
came
where
out of nowhere for us. Yeah,
But
that goal against the El Salvador in the last minute came from nowhere. Regardless of how maybe the few possession that the El Salvador team had, we actually outplayed them in the threat where we looked like we could have gotten a goal to win the game. And when we did get that goal, when that change was made, when Antonio came on the field,
yeah,
we we couldn't keep a lead. And to be honest, maybe this World Cup campaign is what we can use as an example going
possibly.
forward because there's a lot of things that we didn't have. Because look, we were leading. We didn't see much strategy being used. We were leading against Mexico and the likes of El Salvador, and we couldn't even burn out any minutes, use any strategy to waste any time. And we played against other teams, and they did that. They make use of that. When you look at the Costa Rican team, we might say that the Costa Rican team has a lot of old or veterans in their team, not much young players that they have are big names, but they know how to waste time to keep possession on the ball and burn minutes out and make the clock run out. And that's something that we should work on if we want to compete against the top teams in CONCACAF and also to get to compete against teams or get games to play against maybe competitive European teams that are ranked below 50.
Yeah.
You
I
understand? We
hear
have to learn those things. But I guess with the if we give Paula the same amount of time that Tapa had or Tapa got, we I think we supposed to do better than what he did
yeah, man.
with his time at the helm because many people won't look on it on a football perspective. Maybe they're gonna look on it on a biased perspective when they look at the run that Paula have and say, look, Paula only win one match, maybe draw one from him get the coach. But
Yeah.
we can see with Paula there's clarity. With Tapa, I couldn't tell what we are doing. I don't know what we're gonna come out and do tomorrow with Paul with Tapa when he was at there. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't. And it was to me when you see good performance is basically from the players. Is what the player do. It's not what actually Tapa tell the players to do. Because I don't think Tapa had that kind of figure or statue where the players actually look up to him. I doubt it. You understand? And I've heard things. I have heard things. I don't have to call him. Tapa is that really and truly. It's like we put someone in the position to position and he's not really competent. And that's what happened. We put him in the position, and he is competent for the job. And we're comparing that he is the best coach so far, and his stats when you're gonna use the likes of us playing against maybe Trinidad, Montserrat, and those teams. If it's up to that, our football is just going to stay in the Caribbean, just Caribbean Cup football. We're looking at. We're not looking maybe. We're not looking at maybe the CONCACAF being in the top 3 in CONCACAF or the top 4. You understand? Winning those games is not going to actually keep us in the top 4 in CONCACAF. With the likes of even Suriname now coming up, doing their research and doing their masters and trying to.
Yeah, man, you're right. I would say a whole heap of things have to change, but I like your input still, bro. I agree with enough things you said. I have an next person who are coming now, yeah?
Stick around, though, my boss. You never know.
Yeah, man, sure.
And next week again, you come on again.
Yeah, man.
Isn't it? Enough respect, you, man.
Big up yourself.
Yeah, man, no problem, man, sure.
All right, somebody else in the chat. You want to give your views on the first one? By the way, people, I'm a father of this. Philip, isn't it? Yeah.
SG, man. SG. No, you don't know the name. I mean, new name I lost it.
All right, just had a new name. SG.
Oh, boss.
Yeah, man. Yeah. This and that sports TV name. Yeah, as you know, I don't really follow not follow, no watch, because most of the preview and analysis I get from the World Cup campaign leading up from December, say this and that sports TV provide me with all I need to know. I just want to big up your channel still. You do a good job, and I like the difference, not because I'm my son and them thing there,
Yeah.
Really appreciate it.
What you think Jamaica football can do going forward then? Since as you can't help review the campaign. Forward to go forward before we continue.
Well, what Jamaican football can do moving forward, Mr. Paul kind of hinted it by starting implementing a lot of young youth to get some experience, integrate some of the young youth them with the veteran them and thing. But me still want to touch back on by some of the games them rewatch, some of them on YouTube and other places. And as you know, we did that Jamaica when the first, especially the Panama game, from the transition from Mexico to Panama. From the transition they make when they send one team go to Mexico and then have a next team play. So I never see that happen nowhere in the world in football. So that's the first move. I see Jamaica make where in our football arena, that you just can't comprehend that. You don't know how to look into that. When you have a team about in the Azteca in Mexico and do so well, and you come back and change up the whole of your back line. And the only thing save we done at Mexico was your back line.
Yeah.
You can't come and make a wholesale change like that and feel like boy, you're gonna get there with it. Especially with a team like Panama or a team who enter in the final round of a World Cup. Every game a serious game. And then take these 2 games like some park ball I play. And yes, boy, I'm going to give a friend a game the time. Yeah. I don't know who call the shots where the game there is concerned. If I tap a with more, them for run him at the same time. And if I the JFF call the shot tap a with more, that means they have no use and a purpose. So you run him at the same way.
Yeah, that rushed it to early.
You understand what I say?
You want to try to tell you that?
Yeah.
You walk left the jump.
No, but me hear people at a big talk show program I say the last World Cup will qualify. We're bringing people in at the last phase. Bringing three new players in at the last program. But yeah, people have to remember that the 3 players we're bringing on our 98th World Cup, them spend at least 3 months with the team of practice. So it's a difference when you bring somebody where I come from different parts in England plus come meet some people you never see before, you never talked before. You don't know them play, you don't know them style. These 3 players where they bring in our last World Cup was here practicing with the side. So it's a big difference. I know we make all our 8 or 9 changes
Yeah.
in a like a 2-day span.
Yeah.
If you go out there, you go play football against a team like Panama, we have some youth who are transition through the system all along. We must get killed.
Yeah.
And not only that, we have a coach who don't even understand football. Understand to play it, but for coach it, him came coach a high school side.
And Thierry was such a brilliant footballer.
I am the national side.
Yeah, man.
You see? So moving forward, this is what Amity done say too now. Well, you know, behind the scene talk and tell us say, Leon Bailey and when Bobby would never ever under Theodore system, they will never ever play good football. Because these players that play the ball on the ground. And you can't have 2 men we're probably about 5 foot. I go put over long ball for them play on the wing. All them are go win in the ball. All them are go get the ball for second long. All them are go play football. You know, make no sense. Them all look like they're not good.
Yeah, man.
Finally, see what Leon Bailey can do. The type of system don't fit these 2 guys. And these 2 guys are 2 excellent players. We make Bobby Reid look like an idiot at football. We make Bobby Reid look like an idiot and then people across Bobby Reid. I could never ever say because the system of Bobby Reid
because Bobby Reid missed some easy goal and Bobby Reid there miss control and make some bad passes. So we can't
frustration can't do anything, brother.
Huh?
When you go out on the field and you don't even know when ball will reach, if it not reach, you probably not play the same level. Leon Bailey probably not miss the amount of miscontrol and anything like Bobby Reid. You understand that. But remember the first set of game Bobby Reid played before we enter into the World Cup qualifying round. Bobby Reid looked like an international first class player, so we know what he can do.
Yeah, we know the ability.
So it have to be something. It have to be something different. You see me? Now we see Leon Bailey. Now we see what Leon Bailey offer. And the type of player when I tell you, say Leon Bailey. If we don't have midfield, a good midfield moving forward, we're going to still have the same problem because when it reach down to certain situation, them go double team Leon Bailey because them know them don't have anybody else on the field where really are going to create any big damage. So them can always send a double team or triple team over to Leon Bailey. And until we solve these midfield problems we have, we're not going to go anywhere.
But the last thing I said before we move on to you is that Ravel Morrison seems like him that player that we can really offer the role there. You see me?
Yeah, Ravel Morrison. But just remember, you know. All right, during this World Cup, when you bring in a car where you want to call him name, you know, I don't know what he was doing in the side. I don't know who we are doing. He may do a favor. Because by way on our side, he couldn't make the side for merit. May I tell you that? So I don't know what he may do.
Yeah. Still they are trying to figure it out.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know why he was even there in the first place. You know? But with Ravel Morrison alone and Leon Bailey, and you don't have other creative midfielder, we're still not going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Remember, Ravel Morrison is not the world-class midfielder. So we need other people that can give Leon Bailey a chance to perform. And we need to go back to the system in which we have a wing back then, overlap, and we have we center back them, we can cover for them. And that's the only way Jamaica is going to play football because we are much faster, as them said before, we are much faster and stronger than most teams we ever play.
Yeah.
Well,
so if we can create that attacking force, we can always get back in time for defend the ball. But if we go and sit back with no creative midfielder, this is all going to happen to us.
Well, as I said,
pressure.
With that being said, we're gonna try to finish up the second half of the campaign real quick. But big up for the words, isn't me? Next week we might talk about something that you can come on and give your 2 cents again.
Me still I go say, I go ask, you know. for doing the very best to get Rudolph's speech on the program so we can ask him question just like come here. Craig I need to come back and answer these things that Craig Butler put out there, you know. And as me say, we cannot have no under 20 side a select without whisper.
Yeah, man.
We need the answer. We need answers. We need answers from selectors to tell me why he's not there. We need them to explain to Jamaican people. And we need every time we come on the program, we need to ask the question. They need to answer and tell you why.
We need some answers.
Because he's the best young youth you have in Jamaica right now.
He's not even in Jamaica, but from Jamaica. But yeah, people in the comments tell me
from Jamaica.
Tell me why we tell me how we can get in contact with you last week. Anyway, SG, big up.
You know it go.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, so second half of the campaign, bro. So before we move on to the games, something very important happened. Right? So all the fans recording for Theodore Whitmore's head after this window. Now in December, I think it was the 20th of December, it was announced that Theodore Whitmore was relieved of his duties. And the new man in charge was Paul Hall.
And as soon as Paul Hall was introduced, it was announced that there would be an international non-FIFA date friendly against a Peruvian team who, by the way, subsequently qualified for the World Cup over the likes of Colombia. But yeah, we were told that, we'd have a friendly against Peru. That was a thing. Well, we're not going to spend much time on the Peru game because it's not a World Cup.
We lose 3-0, we saw a good spot. We saw some sparks in the game. But
we managed to get to the halftime. By the way.
Game of no consequence. So the next game in the World Cup qualifying campaign was Mexico in the office. We lost that game 2-1. Let's break it down.
All right, so we lost that game 2-1, and this is where we started to see the departure from. Alva Spoil to Javian Brown. Javian Brown started to be the starter more frequently because Javian Brown is performing in the previous season in MLS, performing very well for the Whitecaps. Got a first team spot. And people were saying Alva Spoil was necessarily cut out for this role, right? So Javian Brown began to get the nod. You saw Ethan Pinnock reintroduced to the team. They paired him with Damian Lowe, and Kemar Lawrence was the left back. That was the starting defense. And then we had Daniel Johnson and Ravel Morrison in the midfield with Devon Williams. So no central, no holding midfielder. But we had Ravel Morrison and Speedy. No deep lying defensive midfielder. Because we're keeping that Devon Williams as a 6 and he's not a 6.
Yeah.
And then we had Ravel and DJ. That's kind of the two attacking options that we wanted to see in the midfield. So I don't think we had any problem with that.
Yeah.
And then up top you had Flemo and Lemar Walker. Oh, by the way, we never talk about Lemar Walker being introduced into the USA game.
Right. Oh, yeah. I start out of nowhere.
As an attacking midfielder.
And we never talk about Tariq McGee being dropped after the Costa Rica game, after a good performance. So straight out of that, I guess he was replaced by Lemar Walker. The game time that Tariq McGee would normally get, Lemar Walker was getting that game time. Maybe not in the same position, but squad position. But position in the squad.
So anyway, I'm not sure why Paul Hall went with Flemo and Walker. That beat me, that selection. I didn't necessarily understand why he made that selection, even though he had the likes of Bobby Reed on the bench and even Peter Lee Vassell, But he went with Lemar Walker and Junior Fleming. Junior Fleming in that game, we at this side of Sports TV didn't think he was terrible. But everybody else apparently did.
Yeah, I thought Junior Fleming had a good game, I thought Junior Fleming had a good game. And people, if you don't really remember what happened in that game was what? We were leading that game.
Daniel Johnson.
And Daniel Johnson scored. Then Alpha Spoil came on. Remember? I think Javian Brown was having some chance.
Javian Brown pulled up.
Alpha Spoil came on and downhill from there.
Yeah, because as I said, to be honest, we were under pressure by this Mexican team. And the Mexican team is better than us. But as I said, we managed to stay disciplined. We managed to do what we needed to do to prevent them from scoring.
Also, Damian Lowe red card. Let's not leave that out of the game.
Yeah.
This was the game that Damian Lowe picked up that red card. The VAR First VAR game, Damian Lowe red card. Alvas Paul came on in I think the 88th minute. 81st minute they scored. 83rd minute they scored.
All right, so we believe that instead of Alvas Poe, especially based on his poor run of form, he should have opted to go with Mariappa. We're up 1-0 against Mexico with little time to go. You don't need to introduce the defensive option that is, an overlapping threat, which is what Alvas Poe's strong point is. His ability to get forward, right, and to create for the team. But Alvas Poe has never been an outstanding defender. Even when he was our best right back, he's never been an outstanding defender.
And we were trying to see out the game.
So I thought Mariappa would have been a good option to bring on at that point. And they opted to go with Alvas Poe, and Alvas Poe slipped at the back post twice, and it resulted in us conceding twice in the span of 10 minutes.
I feel like
Absolutely gutting and killing our World Cup hopes.
I feel like poor decision from Paul Hall. That was a very, very bad coaching decision. To bring on Alvas Paul, who I think was carrying an injury, bro. Alvas Paul has not been himself all campaign. And this was the game where, and we there were some speculations. I won't put our credibility on the line like that. But, there were rumors going around that there was a bust up in the dressing room. Daniel Johnson was mad. Ravel Morrison punched it. Was it Ravel Morrison and Daniel Johnson? Both of them punched the duck out, because we could have won that game. As I said, Alvas came on in the 88th minute. By the 81st minute, they scored a goal. And in another 2 minutes, they scored the winning goal. Same back post.
I have some criticism for Paul Hall. I think Paul Hall should have started with his 5 at the back from this very moment.
Mm-hmm.
I thought at this point we weren't necessarily privy to the brilliance that is Richard King. I definitely thought that Mariappa.
Were we? Because we saw him in the Peru game and we knew that he could slot in, but this is big time.
Yeah. I thought that we should have went with Mariappa to sweep the team.
Mm-hmm.
With Javier Brown as a wing back, went without Lemar Walker or Junior Fleming.
Yeah.
Right? And introduced the fifth defender.
Yeah.
So I thought, I'm not sure why Paul Hall didn't start going to the 5 at the back from then. Why didn't he do that from this point? Because we saw him get success from it in the most previous window.
Mm-hmm.
And we, alongside with many other people in the YouTube fraternity, were calling for the 5 at the back. Or the 3-5.
We've been calling for the 5 at the back all campaign, even from top of days, bro. Because we knew that we had very good defenders, and the best way to set up Jamaica was to get our best players on the field in the best position. And that would have been a 3 at the back. We do have a strong midfield presence. So don't try to go with that good midfield. Like Jimmy wants to let it out every time. Yeah. So let's go with 3 at the back. That's what we want.
Because I do believe that some of our best players, Ethan Pinnock, Damian Lowe, and Adrian Mariappa, are 3 central defenders. And I think those are 3 of our top 5, 6 best players on the team.
And we have wing backs that can put in deadly crosses.
Yeah. Especially Kemar Lyons at the time.
And Javier Brown proved himself. Him can attack.
Yeah, I must say, Javier Brown crossing still leaves a lot to
desire. It needs work.
I think Kemar Lyons does it at a very high level. Mm-hmm. And then we have other wing backs like Greg Lee with the ability to bombard forward. You get me? I say very powerful, very strong. So I thought Paul Hall should have introduced the 5 at the back from this point on. Mm-hmm. Mikel Antonio did not have a great game, but what's to expect? Mexico really had us under a lot of pressure. Right. We should have got the point. Anyways, at this point, I was sure that our campaign was finished. Yeah. And we'll move quickly through the rest of the game.
Before we move on, people, make sure you not like the video. Make sure you not like the video because I'm out of time. Make sure you not like the video, people. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Mm-hmm. We really appreciate it for the support. Move on, Panama.
So I went to Panama. I had very low expectations in this game. Mm-hmm. And we started out and we got a penalty. And Mikel Antonio again managed to convert.
3 goals in the campaign.
We weren't looking very bad. Until we just started to look very bad. And then Panama started to take control of the game and started to pile it on. And that's exactly what I was expecting. Panama is really good at home. Panama is always really good against Jamaica. And I think they stamped their authority on us. And what happened in the Panama game is exactly what I expected to happen. Andre Gray managed to grab a goal. Mikel Antonio scored a penalty. And, not much of note.
Not much. We were going to lose that game.
Yeah. And then we came back home against Costa Rica. And I think this was probably the turning point of our campaign. This was the turning point of our campaign, and you know why I think this was the turning point of our campaign? It was the first game when we went with 5 at the back.
Yeah.
It was the first game where we tried to attempt to hold on to the ball in the midfield and get the ball forward to our attacking players. Right? This was the first time where we saw it happen. And it really did look promising. It really did look promising. And I would say, for the first time in a long time, we outplayed Costa Rica. In fact, we finally outpossessed the team. And we not barely outpossessed them, we outpossessed them.
We really should have gotten a better result.
You want to go through the statistics? 16 shots.
Right. And we 63% of the ball. 4 shots on target, 15 shots overall to their 7. Man, I saw promising this
29 crosses we got in that game.
We shouldn't have lost this game 1-0. Again, we were there. And I feel like it was a very bad. By this time we knew that it wasn't going to happen. It's over. But I feel like we could have gotten a better result out of this game. And fine margins in about the whole campaign. It's all fine margins. Games where we could have gotten a draw here and there. We could have won the game here and there. And then it just didn't happen. Brian Ruiz, I think, came on in this game.
Brian Ruiz came on and changed the game. Do you think that Damian Lowe's suspension is what forced Paul Hall to go with the 5 at the back and probably finding the formula that will take us through to the next round?
No. Did we see it in the Peru game, or was it a back 4?
We did a back 4 in the Peru game.
I'm wondering, but losing a centre back and then going 3, I'm not sure. Maybe it's something that he had in mind.
It should have been something he had in mind.
It makes the most sense. Our Jamaican fans know that it makes the most sense. This is where we have, a multitude of talent. We need them on the field. And you can't win games with goals or score point. So you need the best defenders on the pitch.
And this was a breakout game for Richard King.
Yeah.
So that's one bright spot in this failed campaign. Richard King, I think we found a gem. I think we found a really good centre back. He won't be sticking around in the JPL for much longer. Very good centre back. Tall, good ball player. He reads the game fairly well. He's prone to the odd mistake, but he is young after all. He gets forward into midfield. He's a really good dribbler, and he has the ability to deliver crosses into the box. We see it.
Very good player. Step up in the midfield and play a good role when he needs to.
Yeah, and we saw Rafael Morrison playing a deep role for the first time that game. Rafael Morrison was playing almost like a 6, right? So we saw Rafael playing very deep, Speedy playing the 8, and that was like the new start for this Jamaica team. That's when I think we started to go in the right direction in the Costa Rica game. So we did lose, however, that's the first time I saw promise. The Mexico game, still not sold on Paul. I think he made decisions that cost us the Mexico game. The Panama game, let's chalk that up to playing in Panama City. That was a hard place to play.
And the result, we saw that by this point, we're never going to have a boom and the campaign is now on. We're getting 4 wins out of the last 4 games. We knew that that wasn't going to happen. But I'm glad that the fans didn't call for Paul Hall's head because we saw performance. And at the time in football, it's not about the result, Sometimes it's not about the result. At this part, we knew that we were never going to make it to the World Cup.
Yeah.
But if we went out to this game 1-0 and they were all over us, 20 shots and we had 2, I'm pretty sure people would have said, get rid of Paul Hall. But we saw a performance. And this is what I like from the Jamaican fans. We never call for it unnecessarily.
All right, so that window, right? What would you say is the theme of that window?
The theme of that window was promise.
Promise. That's exactly that's the exact word that
we saw King, we saw Paul Hall. We saw a bit of what Paul Hall wanted to bring to Jamaican football. And a lot of the people were excited.
And then the long-awaited final window. This was the window. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, this campaign was set up in a way for us to secure qualification very easily if we had done what we are capable of doing. So this final window with 2 home games against the 2 worst teams in CONCACAF and Canada in the springtime, even though that ended up didn't mean much because it was still very cold. But we did not get Canada in November or December, right? We got Canada in the springtime, and it was set up very good for us. So we saw El Salvador. We saw the 5 at the back come back.
Again,
with
Damian Lowe this time.
With Damian Lowe as the left centre back because Ethan Pinnock didn't come, for club responsibilities and the campaign was over. So,
Agent Marapa slotting in and putting in a shift through this whole final window. Shall I go through the lineup?
you can go to the lineup for this.
Alright, Damien, Andre Blake in goal
Mhm.
for this game. Damien Lowe Mariapa and Richard King as the three centre backs. Then we had Greg Lee as the left wing back, Javian Brown as the right wing back, Robert Morrison starting in midfield with Devon Williams. Then we had Liam Bailey on one side, Daniel Green on one side, and Andre Gray as the centre forward.
Mhm.
Wanted a better result, but I feel like everybody at this point understood that the ball was just the results were just not going our way. The performances were there. We saw what Paula was trying to do.
Yeah,
The results were just not coming.
and as I said, people, because these games are very recent, I'd implore you to just go back and check out our reviews on these games, because they're on our channel. So we won't be going too much in depth in these games. Anyways, Andre Gray missed a few chances. Daniel Green. Daniel Green is one of the youngsters that was introduced later in the campaign. I don't necessarily see it, but maybe he needs time. He doesn't look like he's ready for the occasion. And that's something that I'm not sure about. How is it that Daniel Green now gets the nod over Lamar Walker?
And if we're saying that, bro, like Lamar Walker is somebody that we're saying, all right, we see that you're around the program, but you should not be starting in our World Cup qualifying campaign. And then, oops, Daniel Green is starting over Lamar Walker.
So that's questionable. But Paul Hall should know what he's doing. Anyways, as I said, we're not going in depth. We outpossessed El Salvador again. We had 17 shots, 5 on target, 7 shots blocked, 3 big chances created. We had 7 corners to their 5. We hit the woodwork once, 21 crosses. We really outplayed El Salvador, and the results just did not go our way because of a back post header. Poor marking. Anyways, Liam Bailey finally showed up in Jamaican colours, and that was a beautiful thing.
I think his best game so far.
We saw Paul Hall using in a free roll position, and also we saw where Liam Bailey, I think, became a man for Jamaica. He was an outright leader on that team. He was talking, he was instructing, and he showed his level of play on the field. He was really dragging this Jamaica team. So I was just very impressed with how Liam Bailey played and Ravel Morrison.
Yeah, I agree. This was a game where we say Liam Bailey turned up, but let us see if we're going to get more of this going forward.
Are we going to talk about the Canada game?
Yeah, but we can't talk about the Canada game, but briefly. So for the Canada game, we got four love. We started with our team, Andre Blake in goal, Greg Lee as our left centre back, Agent Marap as our centre back, scored an own goal. Richard King didn't have a great game. We started with Thomas as the left back, Javian Brown as the right wing back, Again, Devon Williams and Rafael Morrison in the midfield, Daniel Green, Nicholas Nelson, and Atafra Bygrave. Not a great game from Jamaica.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time talking about this game. I chalked down this terrible performance to the fact that we were using a lot of locally based players, and we were playing in minus 7 degrees.
I put it down to conditions. But it is what it is. We got a 4-0. We kind of wiped that game from our memory. And we move on to the next game.
People, I'm going to ask you to interact with me.
What want to do? We not talk to it.
Tell us what you think about these games and the very, very last game of the campaign. As I said, we very recently released a review on this game. So I'm not even going to review this game here in the live, people. Go and check out that review. It was a very critical analysis of everything that went on in the game. We told you guys our thoughts on the lineup. We told you guys our player ratings and such. And that was the most recent game. As I said,
recent video too.
Yeah, as I said, not going to go deeply in it. I want you guys to go and check out that video. Good performance. We finally got another win against Honduras. Disappointed that Honduras was the only team who could beat this campaign. Happy that we got 6 points from Honduras.
Yeah,
which was what we expected.
I agree. I feel like that's where we did what we were supposed to do for the whole campaign. But before we close it out, bro, we're going to leave in a few people. But let's talk about some bright spots of the campaign and some low spots. Some takeaways.
But before we get to that, an important fact that I should have mentioned much earlier in this video, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that over 41 players played, not suited up, not changed, not wearing the match card? Over 41 players stepped foot on the field for Jamaica this World Cup qualifying campaign.
Awful. Awful.
How?
It beats me, bro.
So how do you qualify for a World Cup playing 41 players? That's greater than a national pool should be.
Mhm.
Like I don't think 18 players or 20
I feel
players
like-
should be playing for a team.
I feel like what happened with that is that we didn't have we were building for the World Cup. So we entered the World Cup qualifying campaign and players started to become available that were so much better than what we had that we couldn't turn it down. I mean, like that's what happened, and we were just hoping that it would have worked, but it didn't. And we're not surprised that it didn't work. We're trying to play pickup games against teams, against well-oiled machines. It's never going to work. So, 40 plus players playing for Jamaica, bro, I don't want to see that happen again. And I feel like we should learn from
It
that.
can't happen again.
Yeah.
And that's
Awful.
something that's one of the things that we should learn. That's 4 starting 11s, almost 4 starting 11s would have played.
Yep, all right. So people would have said you introduce those players and it would disrupt the system that you've already built. But when you don't build a system yet, it's easy to introduce 40 players because you're not in a system, you're not disrupt now.
Yeah, so there's nobody. All right, we know say all right, Leon Bailey I can play this way in this system, so I just Leon Bailey.
Yeah, and he plays well there.
Yeah,
So we're
and
now
then-
going to look for
All right, another wing, and we know that these 3 centre backs play this well together because we see sometimes Delict struggling to get games over De Vrij and Van Dijk in the Dutch team, and I think Delict is a better defender, right? But it's just those guys playing together. They have a system, they have a well-established situation for them, so that's how it goes. I think that's an abomination having over 40 players play, and it cannot happen again. So we need to learn from this. But as you were, bro.
I agree. Yeah, so some of the highs and lows of the campaign. First one, the sacking of Theodore Whitmore came a bit too late.
Definitely.
That's the first one for me. What say you?
I thought after the poor performance in the Gold Cup and us not playing any kind of good football at all in the Gold Cup, we should have moved on from Theodore because it was clear that the talent that Jamaica football now possesses became a bit too much for him to handle. So as somebody mentioned, I think Theodore Whitmore is fairly competent in the Caribbean landscape, able to handle Caribbean landscape level players. However, when it comes to managing world-class players and implementing world-class systems, I just don't think he's good enough for that. And that showed.
I agree. The next one, the next low for me, is everybody should be on the same page. Everybody needs to get on the same page. And when I say that, I mean players, coach, administration, and the government of Jamaica. And the fans. So all 5 facets of the football need to be on the same page. And I feel like for this campaign we were. The government was pushing some other agenda. The upstairs of the JFF, I don't know what was going on there. Tapma, we don't know what going on there. So Paul will come in and try and make some sense of it. Then we hear say one man I get hired, and then the brother come out and say leave it, no about that job here. Then the fans not turn up to the games. Then it was just a mess. So everybody need to be on the same page. Let's get some positive out there. Richard King,
definitely something to take out of the campaign, something to take going forward. Definitely a centre back for the future, and I like the fact that he's getting the chance now to play with players like Marappa and Andre Gray. You can see their veteran leadership rubbing off of him. Even Leon Bailey, Damian Lowe, Andre Blake, so on and so forth. Players who have been here and done that. So I think Richard King is at the right age to continue to grow in the program, and I think he's one for the future for sure.
I agree. Another spot, Leon Bailey.
Yeah, he came to the party late, but he came after all. And at the end of the day, I think the reason why in his first few World Cup qualifiers he wasn't playing up to scratch was because of the system.
Clearly. Who was? Other than Mikel Antonio, who was just moments, giving us moments. And again, Shema Nicholson too, who really gave us some moments too. When you think about him taking on players and scoring goals, Shema Nicholson gave us some moments. We're not scoring goals through a system. But no, we can see a clearly defined system. And the final positive I'm going to give, Paula. I feel like that is a positive. The result didn't come. But I think Paula and what he's trying to do is a positive.
So you are officially sold on Paula as your head coach?
I'm not going to say give him the next 6 years just yet. But it's a positive. That's all I'm saying. Don't add anything else to it. Don't subtract nothing from it. What I saw from Paul on this campaign is a positive. Verdict is still out. The jury is still out on that. And the verdict is still out on that one. So, yeah, we that.
Yeah, wrap it up now.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, as I said, people, only this or that Sports TV can give you a comprehensive rundown filled with statistics and memories, feelings, facts, so on and so forth about this campaign. We went through each and every window. We went through the themes that we took from each and every window. We went through political breakdown of the system, tactical breakdown of the system, the technical deficiencies that we identified within the players in the system. We spoke about it all. Obviously, the more recent ones, we never given everything because we recently posted videos on those. I want you guys to go over to our channel, watch the videos that we post because we have very critical analysis on the games that we recently played. But we went through it all. I think we're very comprehensive in our coverage of the campaign, where it went wrong,
Yeah.
the bright sparks that we took from it.
Yeah, bro. And people, before we close out the video, we have to do housekeeping. Make sure you smash the like button if you're still on the stream. And the people watching back this video, if you made it this far, might as well show the support now.
Yeah.
If you're watching video for so long, overall, like the video. If you're not already subscribed to the channel and leave a comment. Even if you want to comment in the live chat and the replay, or you want to leave a comment down in the comment section, do that, please. We're really working hard on the channel. We're really trying to bring some content to you guys that have never been done in Jamaica before. So show us the support, show us that you like the content. Please.
And 25 people here listening right now. If each one of you, 25 people right now listening to me, and everybody who's going to watch this on the replay tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, or the day after that, can get us 5 subscribers. Do you know how many subscribers that will get us by the end of the day? So like as he said, share the video to at least 5 people and get us to where we need to get to. So we can continue getting you the content that you guys need to get. See?
Yeah.
But with that said, this was This or That Sports TV, people. Thank you so much for joining us.
And they're out.
Yeah.